Let's try this year not to fool others about ourselves and not to fool ourselves about ourselves. You know, there was this guy. His name is Bill Russell. Perhaps you've heard of him, Jesse. I don't know anything about sports, but this guy, Bill Russell, he was a famous center, and as you know, I don't really know what a center is in football or in basketball, but he was a famous center for the Boston Celtics, which I guess is a basketball team, you tell me. But he was a famous center for the Boston Celtics, and everyone depended on him. He was the top guy, and everyone came to see his games. And he was being interviewed one day on the radio, and the interviewer asked him, "Hey, Bill, we want to know, what do you do to prepare yourself for a game? Because everyone wants to be like you, and everyone wants to admires who you are. You're our hero. So what do you do to prepare yourself for a game?" Bill said, "Well, to tell you the truth, before every game, I vomit." Well, to tell you the truth, everyone was kind of glad to hear that. Everyone listening on the radio. Because we think, especially people that were interested in becoming basketball players, we think, I will never be like Bill Russell. I'll never be as good as him. Wow, to see him play, it's poetry in motion. I'll never be like that. But when they heard that he actually threw up before every game, well, then they thought, he's really a lot like I am. He really reminds me of myself. I'm like that. I get so scared, and I'm not sure I'm going to do well, and I get scared. And then they asked him, "Say, Bill, tell me this. Let's say you're playing 2 games in one day. What do you do on the days that you play 2 games?" He said, "To tell you the truth, I vomit twice." Well, that's honest. He's honest with others and honest with himself about how he really feels. How he really feels about the game, how he really feels about performing, how he really feels. And he's not afraid to tell people how he really feels. So let's start being the same on the outside as on the inside. Maybe not all at once, but let's try a little bit harder to tell people how we really, really feel about things. There was this famous photographer named Ansel Adams, and most people know him as a famous photographer, but he's not only a photographer, he was also a piano player. And one day he was playing piano for his friends at a dinner, and he said the strangest thing happened to him. He said he started playing with his right hand, and he was playing with his right hand in the key of F sharp. And he was playing in F sharp with his right hand, but then he started playing with his left hand, because when you play piano, you've got to play with your right hand and your left hand. So he was playing with his left hand, and his left hand started playing in the key of F. Well, he had one hand playing in the key of F sharp and the other hand playing in the key of F, and that didn't sound very well. It didn't sound very good at all. And his friend came to him after and being a good friend, he kind of teased him a little, and he said, "Ansel, I'll tell you something about your piano playing. You never miss the wrong note, do you?" And that was funny, but it doesn't sound too good to be playing F sharp on the left with your right hand and in F. I mean, that's a whole half a step lower to play in F on your left hand and F sharp on your right hand. But every single one of us, especially after we start to grow up, we're a little bit different on the outside than we are on the inside. The outside's a little bit sharper, and the game that we're playing on the outside is a little bit sharper, and what we show the world is a little bit sharp. We're like Bill Russell, all sharp. Boy, can we play. But the game that we're playing on the inside isn't quite as sharp. And what's going on the inside is a little bit different than what's going on